And right now we are following breaking news. The state and the defense have rested in the Bunak Landon trial.
A significant update in the case where a woman is accused of killing a 6-year-old Harahan girl.
Closing arguments are just moments away from starting. WDSU reporter Elizabeth Kubel live at the Gretna Courthouse with the very latest on this trial.
Exactly right, Travers. I was just in that courtroom less than 5 minutes ago. At that point, the jury had not been brought in yet, meaning that closing arguments had not started yet. They should any minute now, and it comes after a day that has really been dedicated to Landon's mental sanity. For the first time in the Bunak Landon trial here at this Jefferson Parish Courthouse, the defense calls its own witnesses to the stand on Thursday, including board-certified forensic psychiatrist Dr. Sarah DeLand, who said on the stand she has seen the defendant 13 times. She testified what Landon told her about her childhood, saying she described her father as an alcoholic and gambler who was very abusive. Further adding about her dad, there were incidents such as bringing the whole family to the railroad tracks and threatening to have them all killed there. The doctor described Landon as talking in circles, guarded, and very reluctant to share information, and that she described problems with her memory. At one point, she testified, she remembered finding Bella, and she remembered putting her finger in blood and putting blood marks around the house. Going on to say, she seemed to remember something about the bucket and said she hugged the bucket. She acknowledged she's the one in the video, but said she did not have any recollection of doing that. But prosecutors poking holes in cross-examination, saying, is it fair to say her memory is spotty when it comes to, I killed a baby? Further asking the doctor, that childhood trauma she described to you, her siblings talked about that same trauma too. Did any of her siblings murder people? And something else notable from inside the courtroom today, Landon chose not to testify. She said that was a choice that she was making freely. Reporting live in Gretna, I'm Elizabeth Kubel, WDSU News.
Joined now live in studio with defense lawyer Sarah Shavinsky, who has handled a bunch of high-profile cases. Let's just get right to it. The jury, when they get it, can bring back guilty, or not guilty by reason of insanity, which is very unique in this case because I think that's what the defense is going for here.
That's right. So the defense entered a dual plea, which is not guilty and not guilty by reason of insanity. That's a standard plea that's entered in cases where mental illness is going to be a part of the defense.
And look, you've handled a lot of high-profile defense cases. It does seem like it's an uphill battle for Paul Fleming, the defense attorney here, given the video and physical evidence that were presented at trial.
Sure. So the burden is legally on the defense to prove it's more likely than not that their client was suffering from a mental disease or defect that made it impossible for her to understand the difference between right and wrong. And so that's an uphill battle because it requires medical testimony, and it also is based on the facts and circumstances of the case.
They did call some doctors to the stand. They're going to have closing arguments. Does the defense team have to try to sell that to a jury that she was not of sound mind?
Yes, I assume the majority of the closing arguments will focus on the mental health defense. It seems like there's no real dispute about who committed this crime. It's clear that Ms. Landon did. And so the question is going to be what was going on in her mind at the time those events happened.
Given what you know about the case and the cases that you have handled that get a lot of media attention, like this one, when the prosecution has to go into a closing argument like this, is it something that takes a long time? Is it something where they just lay everything out, hoping that the jury realizes this is the death of a child and somebody has to be held responsible?
Right. The prosecutors and the defense lawyers will take their time to make sure that they go through all the evidence with the jury and point out what's important. It'll probably take a few hours for both sides to make those arguments.
And then we can all guess how long it takes a jury to deliberate in something like this. It does have to be unanimous.
Yes, all 12 have to agree.
All right. Sarah Shavinsky, we'll see you back here at 5 o'clock. We appreciate it. We'll have much more coming up on this at 5 o'clock. We have all the latest details on this on our website at WDSU.com and on our free mobile app.